Hello, I'm Dr. Antonella Grima. I'm a public health specialist and a registered nutritionist. And today I'll be talking about obesity. Why is it such a global problem? It's affecting all the developed countries, most of the developing world, and it's wreaking havoc. It's making problems with diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, problems with mobility. These are all preventable diseases that are directly linked to obesity. The number one cause for why we are so obese is because our body is not designed for the lifestyle that we have today. Our ancestors were hunters and gatherers. Our DNA is designed for us to eat frugally, to eat a limited amount of food, and to go for long periods without eating any food, and to be active, to be on the go constantly. And in our modern day world, we are not doing this. So this is one of the leading causes of obesity. Another cause is that we are bombarded with highly processed foods. If you go to any supermarket and you look at the shelves, you will realize that most, if not a good proportion of the food that we are eating has been through a process whereby salt has been added, sugar has been added, it has been refined, a lot of nutrients have been depleted, and we end up with a high calorie, low nutrient food, and that is what we are eating, what we are giving our children, and what we are eating as healthy food. It can also be that food that is marketed as healthy is not so healthy after all, because it is highly processed. Another big problem is portion distortion. Our portions are exaggerated when we look at what is available and what food is marketed. We have extra large portions, buy one get one free, buffets, eat what you can, and the list is endless. And this is making us eat more than our body needs, more than we actually feel up to eating, but we cannot control ourselves. Another major problem is our patterns of eating. We are accustomed to eat mindlessly. For example, we'd be sitting in front of the television, working, our mind is occupied doing other things, and we are snacking constantly on highly processed, high fat, high sugar food. It's important to be aware of when we are eating of what we are eating, its taste, take time to register that we are actually eating something in order to be more mindful about what we are eating. Another problem with our patterns of eating is that we graze. A lot of us eat all the time. They snack on this, snack on that. Most of it is refined foods, and we end up taking in a lot of calories, much more than our body actually needs. Another, and the last point that I will go over, is that we often resort to food for comfort. A lot of us do it. High sugar, high fat food is very addictive, and it does override our serotonergic pathways, and it gives us pleasure and comfort, and that is why we end up abusing this food like one would do with alcohol or with drugs. Unfortunately, food is freely available and it is socially acceptable to binge on food. However, this pattern is destructive, and it ends up causing more problems and more anxiety and depression. In order to tackle these issues, it's important to take a step-by-step approach, to look at the way we are functioning, to increase physical activity in our day, to eat only when we are hungry, to avoid highly processed foods and go for more natural, simple foods. Look at the label and only choose foods that has very limited ingredients or is natural in its natural state. And be mindful of how you are eating and of your portions. If you feel that the food is too much, put some of it aside and eat it at another meal, or otherwise remove some of the food on your plate. We do not have to eat everything. And also we have to learn to cope in different ways, to cope with our problems and with our anxiety in other ways rather than food, in order to detach the emotional attachment that we have with food. I hope you have found these tips useful. If you'd like to hear more about what I say about nutrition and about being healthy, feel free to have a look at my Facebook page and my Instagram account, where I share more information and regular recipes and tips. Thank you.